All right, so in our last explainer, we really dove into why intuitive introverts can often feel like they're suffering, kind of carrying the weight of the world. But you know what? That's only half the story. Today, we're flipping the script. We're going to talk about thriving and how you, yes, you, can finally find your voice. So let me ask you something. Do you ever have this entire universe of ideas and connections just buzzing inside your head? It's all crystal clear to you, but then the moment you try to actually say it out loud, it just falls apart. If you're nodding along right now, then you are in exactly the right place. You know that feeling? It actually has a name. We call it the introvert's dilemma. And let's be super clear here. This has nothing to do with a lack of depth. Oh no, far from it. The real issue is usually not having a structure, a kind of bridge to get all of that amazing inner clarity out into a conversation that other people can actually get on board with. And this slide just nails it, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this incredibly rich, complex inner world humming along. But on the other, when it's time to speak, what comes out? Either total silence or this overwhelming flood of information that just makes people's eyes glaze over. It's a really frustrating gap to live in. So what's the fix? How do you actually build that bridge? Well, there's this really powerful framework, a tool that's not designed to change who you are at your core, but to help you express it. And it's called Street Epistemology. So what in the world is that? Well, Street Epistemology, or SE for short, it's not about debating. It's not about proving you're right. It's simply a way of talking that uses calm, open-ended questions. The entire goal isn't to win anything. It's to create a space where you and another person can just reflect together. And I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of why this is such a perfect fit. This is not about learning some awkward social script or putting on an extrovert mask. It's about using a method that's already a mirror of how you naturally operate, with deep, reflective thinking. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's look at the psychology behind this, because we're about to break down exactly why this approach just clicks so perfectly with the way an intuitive introvert is wired. First up, SE externalizes metacognition. It's a fancy term, but all it means is you're inviting someone else into that reflective space where you already live. It also creates psychological safety because it's all about curiosity, not confrontation. It gives your natural empathy a structure, a job to do. It's autonomy supportive. You're exploring with them, not dragging them to a conclusion. And my favorite part, it allows for quiet influence. A single, well-placed question can have a much bigger impact than a loud, long argument ever could. Okay. That all sounds great in theory, but what does this actually look like in the real world, right? Let's walk through a super simple, concrete example to show you just how powerful this can be. So imagine a friend comes up to you and says, "Oh, this new conspiracy theory is definitely true." Now, the typical reaction might be to just clam up and say nothing, or you launch into a 10-minute lecture that they completely ignore. But with SOE, the whole approach shifts. You just stay calm and ask a couple of simple questions. And here's the first one. See how gentle this is? It's so non-confrontational. You aren't attacking their belief at all. You're just asking them to put a number on their own confidence. It's a question that naturally invites them to look inward, instead of putting their defenses up. And then this follow-up, this is where the magic really happens. With this, you're asking them to define their own rules for their belief. What would convince them? You haven't stated a single fact or argument of your own, but you've just planted this little seed of reflection that can grow long, long after your chat is over. But look, this is so much bigger than just having better conversations. This is about why your specific way of thinking, your voice, is so incredibly essential in the world, especially right now. Just think of SE as your personal translation tool. It translates that inner depth into outer clarity. It turns your natural sensitivity into conversational precision. And maybe most importantly, it allows you to actually show up as your authentic self in these conversations, without feeling like you need to go lie down in a dark room for 3 hours afterwards. And this is the whole point. We live in a world that is just so noisy. It's all about who can shout the loudest. And if the deep thinkers, the quiet visionaries, if they all check out because the conversation is just too hostile or exhausting, then we all lose something incredibly valuable. We lose nuance, we lose wisdom. So if you take just one thing away from all of this, please let it be this. Your depth, Your tendency to see connections that other people miss, that quiet, reflective part of you, that is not a social burden. It is a gift, a genuine gift. And street epistemology is the tool that can help you learn to share that gift with the world. If this resonated with you at all, I really invite you to go explore it for yourself. Just head on over to navigatingbeliefs.com.